Welcome to Pre-Calculus at Golden High School. My name is Cassidy Dinzes. I'll be your teacher this year. A little bit about myself. I did grow up here in Golden. I attended Shelton, Bell, and I'm a GHS graduate. I then attended Colorado State University and then Metropolitan State University of Denver. I began teaching in 2012 and have been at Golden since 2014. I enjoy time with my three children, concerts, traveling, soccer, skiing, bad humor, and awkward moments. Okay, so what is pre-calc? Well, pre-calculus is exactly what you might think, a class to prepare you for calculus, whether that be here at Golden High School next year or at college next year. Calculus is the study of how things change over time. In calculus, many different types of functions are used to model different situations, and in order to analyze those models, you must have a deep understanding of what those types of functions look like and how functions work in general. That's where pre-calc comes in, building the understanding of those functions. Okay, so we will study functions all year. Second semester is all trigonometric functions, as well as some polar and parametric, which all involves trig. So it's really all trig second semester. So how's class going to work each day? Well, at the beginning of each class, whether it's your in-person day or your remote day, you'll click on your Google Classroom. I will roster all students in there at the end of this week. I will also post codes just in case you registered late or get switched or whatever. Okay, but you'll access your Google Classroom and you'll find an agenda for each day. The agenda document will include links for everything the student needs for that class. All right, so sometimes there will be links for video meetings. We'll be doing some live things through Zoom and Google Meet, where I'll present engaging lessons and different activities. All right, you'll also have worksheets posted on there, solutions, notes, videos of lessons or other instructional videos, as well as other important information like due dates, upcoming schedule, announcements, and so forth. If we take a look at that Google Classroom, you can see it's going to bring me into my pre-calculus period 3A. You can see I have the course expectations there as well as the daily agenda. Strongly recommend using the classwork tab here. Okay. I keep everything pretty organized with these using topics. I can easily move them around and keep them all organized, as you can see. And that's how I like to organize it. But I've used this agenda here. So on Monday, this would be the agenda, although I'll tell you it will look different on Monday. I just threw some stuff in here for example. But here, I'll probably ask most days for you to start off in a meeting. And so you click a link that will be posted here. All right, and then start the warm-up in the lesson that I'll have in that meeting. Once notes are done for my earliest class or video of the lesson, I'll go ahead and post that. I'll have the worksheet posted if there is a worksheet, or sometimes on other online resources, links to those. Okay, as well as solutions. I strongly recommend waiting till you're done with your worksheet to look at solutions. Some students like to use them as they go, but I do like to provide solutions. Know that when I post solutions, I don't show the work. Well, here I do have some work shown. Once in a while I do. Usually I don't have the work shown because I want to avoid copying. I want you just to know if you're getting it right or wrong. And then if it is wrong, then you can try to figure it out on your own or with other people in the class or with me as to why it didn't go all the way correctly. All right, you can also see the homework here for the first day will be to read through the course expectations. That is something I recommend parents and guardians do as well, but all students need to read through the course expectations. If you get it done before Monday, great. We'll have homework on the first day. All right, so that's what the daily agenda will look like. I do also want you to know that if you go to the Golden High School website and you find my website, you can go staff, teachers, math, or I think there's a way to get there through the student thing as well, and in the math department, which has not been updated from last year, but my website still has the same location here. All right, and I use this as a hub. Most students don't use this since I went to Google Classroom 3 or 4 years ago, but I think it's nice to still have a hub. All right, and so for pre-calculus, if you click on pre-calculus, this also has my schedule, contact information here. Fantastic math jokes are usually on here. Okay, but you got the course expectations, a link to Google Classroom, which I'm sure you all have a link to already, but late form, which will also be posted on Google Classroom, as well as a nice calendar view of assignments due. And this is linked to the assignments in Google Classroom, so they all show up here as I post them on Google Classroom, but it's a nice view there. All right, but then there's also some other helpful stuff like a PDF version of a textbook that I've used a lot of material from, helpful math websites, and so forth. So that's good to know that that's there. Just want to make sure all parents knew that. But again, everything's posted through Google Classroom as well, and that tends to be what students use. All right, so what about grades? Well, success criteria for each student can be very different. Some students can be unhappy with anything but an A, whereas other students might be super stoked to get a C. All right, and that's between students and their parents as to what that success criteria looks like. But to be successful in this class, you need to be engaging in lessons and activities that I assign, and as we do them in meets and stuff. All right, you also need to do the practice, which includes assignments, reviews, and sometimes extra work. Sometimes I might not assign enough for you to feel like you know that material well enough. And it is very easy to find more of this stuff on the internet. So there's always extra work you could do if you feel you need it. Seek help when you need. Please ask questions during class. Google chat, message me, email me, whatever you need to do to get the help. Eighth hour this year is on our schedule, but there's no classes. It's just intervention time. So sometimes I will assign kids in those interventions or ask them to be in there. Other times that's a time for you to come get help. So I ask that you utilize that since it's built into the schedule. But I do also have second period planning, so feel free to contact me or set up something during that time. Okay. Just remember, keep calm and pass pre-calc. This class can kind of kick butts at the beginning of the year. Sometimes students, the level of expectations in this class is higher than any math class they've had in the past, and sometimes that can be tough. But know that we can get there if you put in the time. I have pretty close to 100% success rate, in my opinion, of kids being successful in pre-calc. Because the students in here I know will put in the time eventually. You're going to make it a lot easier on yourself if you don't freak out and you just put in the time you need to from the beginning. Okay? So please communicate with me if you feel like you're struggling. Speaking of communication, my contact information is here. If you have any questions, here's my email. You can also leave me a voicemail there. And again, those are all on my website, my contact information, and everything. So please reach out if you have any questions. I'd be happy to help. All right. Have a great day. Can't wait to see you online next week and a few more weeks, seeing some of you guys in person. So peace out, y'all.